So welcome along to the 2013 QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Cup. The stepladder final we'll be bringing you very shortly, but let's take a look back at the 2012 competition and the final between Phil Hulst, who is in this year's stepladder final, and Matt Miller. We join the action in frame 4.
Well, great looking shot there from Matt Miller from England. Phil Hulst, the champion from the Netherlands. And also high flush for a strike. Very high backswing from Phil Hulst, as you can see. Lays that ball out well to the right of the lane and just sees it come back up nicely into the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander and carry all 10.
Frame 5, Matt Miller. That's a good looking shot, nicely into the pockets.
Yeah, Wayne, that's a double for Matt Miller, but he certainly needs it because he's had open frames in frame 1 and 3 of this game. So he's struggling and he needs to catch up Phil Hulst, who's looking pretty tight and well lined up.
Strike last time out for Hulst. Both players have suddenly hit a good bit of form here in the last couple of frames. Can Hulst keep it going?
Yeah, once again, right in the 1-3 pocket, looking really good. This is the slow motion replay. You can see the rotation on the ball. Right in the pocket. So it's like that chain reaction. Sees all 10 pins fly to the back of the pit.
Miller looking for the treble, but leaves up the 10-pin. No problem for the spare. Very much in control of this match is Hulst. Just needs to keep his concentration and keep it going.
Well, another great looking shot. You can see how far left he is on the approach with his feet and then lays that ball out. Doesn't go as wide, but it holds its line and then just snaps up. Makes 3 strikes in a row. It's a great looking shot.
Yeah, really is finding that pocket. Hulst at the moment 46 points ahead. Oh, no strike this time, just broke a tad too early, didn't it? Straight through the head pin. Brings up the spare though. Rather forlorn looking Matt Miller now. Finds the pocket and a strike.
Yeah, manages to kick out the 7 and the 10 pins there. That could have been another open.
Spare last time out. Hulst looking to back on the strike train again. Oh, just about. He got a bit fortunate there. It's a 67-point lead.
Yeah, it's all going away from Matt Miller, I'm afraid. Another open frame. And he's many, many pins behind now. Even if he strikes out, I've got a feeling that Phil Hulst has got this one sewn up. Well, you can see how wide he was there, used to the whole of the lane. It was a great looking shot, but it may have come all too late.
Well, when you get a strike like Hulst did last time, you may just feel that your luck's in. And for Miller, that the luck's against you. Frame 10, takes them all away, gets the extra 2.
Yeah, he'll be going through the 200 barrier, and Matt Miller's going to be struggling here for something around the 190 mark. So Hulst looking to take this third Bowling Promotion Cup singles victory in grand style. Well, it ends up with 9 for Matt Miller, and that's a 190 game, but 226 by the look of it for Phil Hulst. Takes the title and the trophy.
So that's how Phil Hulst took the trophy last year, and he is back in the 2013 step ladder final, the Dutchman. So Xavier Ecoffey, 31-year-old from Switzerland, taking on the holder Phil Hulst of the Netherlands in the first match of this step ladder final. And he's got off to a pretty good start.
Well, it's a strike if that's pretty good, but he's crossed the headpin, gone in the 1-2 pocket and taken a Brooklyn strike. So it all counts. It counts as 10 on the score sheet, but it's not the best shot in the world. I'm sure he'll make some adjustments. Phil Hulst, 23. From the Netherlands.
Here he is to defend this title. He's going to have to do it the long way and win 3 successive matches to do so. Matches the strike of Ecoffey.
Wayne, we're playing on 43 feet of oil, which is a flat condition on these lanes, so no big great advantage for any right or left hander. That's exactly the same right across the lane.
And 2 players enjoying a chat. They were in the same team. They're both members of the winning red team in last week's team event, along with Andreev, Krashevkin and Lefebvre. Very much on opposite sides here, playing for the right to go through and meet the Russian, Sergey Andreev, in the next step of this final.
Yeah, he started with a strike, so he's going to try and double up in frame number 2.
Another great shot, and here's a double.
Yeah, quite a sweet style, isn't it? Quite a tall, well-built lad. Very high backswing, great follow-through, lots of power.
Ecoffey on a double as well, finds the pocket 2.
Well, there we go, all square after 2 frames, and both guys on a 300 game. How about that?
That's normally me that likes to get that in this early.
We'll just see how long it can last.
So Ecoffey to go again in frame 3. Both players, as Cass said, perfect so far from the opening 2 frames. But not anymore.
Well, the first 300 bites of dust. The 31-year-old from Lucerne in Switzerland just leaves that single 4-pin standing. The Bowling Promotion Cup goes on in several weeks' time, and we have a doubles tournament and then Masters singles as well. So there's more bowling coming on Eurosport for you to see.
Stays clean, at least, to Ecoffey. Now a chance for Hulst to pull ahead here. Set it out really wide, didn't he? But it is 3 from 3 for Hulst, and at least his 300 still on.
Amazingly, after this shot, yeah, he's only just made the headpin. Look at that. And something trips that 2-pin out at the end there to make it 3 strikes in a row. Well, you need one lucky one if you're going to have a big game, and that, I think, was probably the lucky one.
strikes and a spare so far for Ecoffey. Oh, he's left the 7-10. That's not what he wanted to see. Chances are we're going to see a first open frame.
It was in the 1-3 pocket, and it looked as though it, well, for all intents and purposes, was going to be a strike, but the 4-pin's gone round the 7-pin, and the 6-pin's gone round the 10-pin, and they both stood up, so very frustrating. Odds are it's going to be an open frame. This is not picked up very often on television.
Well, he's left them both up, so it is an open frame for Ecoffey. Well, he's really lost his line now, hasn't he?
Yeah, just made the head pin again. Hasn't buried anything in the pocket. Leaves the 4 and the 8-pin standing, which can only be a spare left-hand side of the lane. But without strikes, he's falling further behind Phil Hulst, who is perfect through 3.
He's clean this time, though.
Well, Phil Hulst is quite a tall, well-built lad, as you can see, but when he prepares to take off bowling, you watch the difference in height between his left shoulder and his right shoulder. He sort of leans across like the Tower of Pisa. You can see how, and look at that difference in the height of the shoulders.
Yeah, incredible.
And you would think that you'd sort of, be falling over as he gets to the line and not be able to deliver it very straight. You really need square up shoulders at the line, but 4 strikes in a row. He's not going to worry what I say about his shoulders.
He knew that was in the minute he left his hand. He was celebrating there, look, even before the connection. He could see it was going right through the pocket to rip those pins down.
Looking for 5 in a row. Well, a bit of body language here as well. Pumps the air. And it's 5 great strikes for Phil Hulst. So he's perfect at the halfway stage. And Xavier Ecoffey's really got some work to do now. And even if he can, will Hulst give him a chance to get back?
Well, he needed that. He's left that 10-pin up again.
Yeah, that was a chance to make a double. Unfortunately, it didn't go. Yeah, not a bad looking shot, but that 6 pins left the 10 standing again. Just didn't quite get the angles right. So this can only be a spare. He's got the 1 double, but he's got the open frame as well in the 4th, which has caused him all sorts of problems score-wise.
Takes that one out as expected, but Hulst really getting away now. And looking good to take on Sergey Andreev, the Russian. I can't miss at the moment. It's terrific.
Had just a little bit of luck there on the 10-pin, but it's gone, and it makes 6 strikes in a row. And this one could be number 7.
Well, I talk about his luck being in.
I reckon this man is going to have a 300 game with strikes like that. That was just ludicrous, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
And Xavier, well, he's not got much to say except laugh. Watch this one. High through the head pin. There's the 4-pin standing, and whatever pin that is flying across and just takes it away. It counts as 10.
Well, he was looking at a big split there, wasn't he? It ended up with a strike. Quite extraordinary.
So he's still looking for the 300 game, believe it or not. And whether he's had one in the past, I don't know, but he's on for this one. Xavier crosses the head pin, left-hand side again, leaves the 3 and the 10 pin, which is a small split on the right-hand side of the lane. And quite honestly, if he doesn't spare this one, even if he does, he's really out of this game, I think.
Open frame again.
Yeah, he's going to be struggling now, I'm afraid. It's going to be interesting whether he can make 190 game. Hulst already through the 200 barrier. Wants to try and put another 100 on the board and make it 300.
Certainly laying down a market to the other three players that potentially lie in wait.
Just 8 pins for Xavier Ecoffey. Leaves the 4 and the 7 on the left-hand side of the lane. So he's just playing for time now. Let's get this 9th frame out of the way, then the 10th, and we can all go home.
Yeah, he knows it's gone, doesn't he? Just becomes a practice session, doesn't it, at this stage?
Yeah. This is a very important ball for Phil Hulst, who's bowled 8 strikes in a row. This has got to be the most important one, the 9th, because it can set him up for the 10th. Oh, dear, oh dear. Well, he's got half of them. He scored 5 on the first ball. And Xavier's clapping as well, which I can't quite understand.
It was almost straight, wasn't it, on the head pin, that?
Yeah, it's a 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. I mean, this is makeable, but he's got to be so accurate trying to chip that 3 pin across. And after 8 strikes in a row, that really was a rank bad ball. You would have thought, lined up on the pocket as he was, that he would just put the most important one there.
Well, he'd had a bit of luck in staying perfect, hadn't he, to be fair? And
yeah, but having said that, Wayne, I agree with you. It really was a bad first ball, though.
Yeah.
And he scored, drops down, he's 231, and there's a strike in the 10th. So anything now, we're going to be about 250, which it really could have been a lot more. But it's going to take him through this first step-ladder final match, and he'll go up against seed number 3, Sergey Andreev from the Russian.
It is an example, Cass, of just how, at this level, how one bad ball can affect your score.
Well, there you go. Yes, it's indeed. It was a 5 and a 3 in between 2 strikes, and you're going to lose more than 21 pins.
But the holder on his way through. Xavier Ecoffey pretty much blown away here.
Second ball in the 10th, spare coming up for Phil Hulst, and if he spares this one, it's going to be 251, which at the end of it will be a pretty good score and a great victory of Xavier Ecoffey.
Yeah, too late to save the Swiss player. Frame 10 then for Phil Hulst.
And that will do. 251 is a good score for a singles game. It ensures victory over his opponent, who's going to be struggling here for 180. A little bit all one-sided, I'm afraid. Yeah, 182 is the final score for Xavier, and Phil Hulst goes through, flying the flag for the Netherlands.
Well, join us after the break when he takes on Sergey Andreev.
Discover the new Eurosport.com app. Improved interface. More in-depth live coverage. Exclusive content. The latest news. Eurosport.com, available on the App Store.
It's just a ball. But nothing has more power to bring us together. To inspire. And to connect us to one another. At FIFA, we believe passionately in the power of football to build a better future. For the game, for the world.
Eurosport Live Score is available on the iPhone and iPad for free. Every competition, every result, live comments. Eurosport Live Score, available on the App Store.
From the legendary Lakeside, it's the annual homage to darts. And whoever takes the crown has to be good with songs and display a killer touch. World Darts Championships, semi-finals, Saturday, live on Eurosport 2.
Welcome back to the 2013 QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Cup in Cap Malo in France. We're in match 2 of the 2013 step ladder final. The holder Phil Hulst taking on Sergey Andreev. We join the action again in frame 8.
Yes, Sergey high through the headpin there. He's just got a couple of pin leads over Phil Hulst, but he's the only one that's got the double so far in this match. Just 3 strikes, so it's not the highest scoring game that we've seen, but a spare here will keep him in the chase for victory.
Fourth appearance here on the BPC for Andreev, the Russian, member of the Russian national team.
Yep, takes the spare away nicely. And that's the situation. It's not even 20 pins in it at the moment, just 15 plus for the Russian. And then sporting the blinkered sunglasses, which is very unusual.
It's kind of Pete Weber with a difference, isn't it?
Well, I think the concept of the blinkers on the glasses are to not to be put off by bowlers either side of him which would happen in a tournament, but there's nobody else in the centre today, so I'm wondering why he's wearing them.
Oh, unlucky. Well, it would have been lucky, but he was unlucky that there wasn't a tap at the end of it.
Well, the thing is, I think he was a bit low on speed on that shot, and it gave a chance for the ball to come up a little bit higher on the head pin, miss the pocket and leave the single 4-pin standing. Playing that wide-angled shot from the outside, getting some nice reaction. The ball's coming up, and it's just a bit too heavy on that head pin. Get no action, leaves the 4-pin standing. Important spare in the 9th frame for Sergey. And put some pressure on Phil Hulst.
Messenger not quite delivering.
Got all sorts of bowling equipment with him. The arm guard, wrist master, the glasses. Looking for a spare in the 9th. Oh, well,
that's
well, I didn't actually see where the ball went, but it didn't hit the pin.
Goodness me.
And 9th frame in a singles match on television, you really don't want to miss a single pin, and that's caused him all sorts of problems because he's now 172 in the 9th on an open frame, which gives this man, Phil Hulst, a chance to step in, shoot 1 or 2 strikes and actually take this game. That was a really, really poor error from the Russian.
And potentially against this man, a match-costing error as well.
Well, Phil's only had 1 open frame back in frame 7, and it looks like he's actually making a ball change here, so he's looking for something slightly different, and if it pays off it may well take him into the lead.
Strike would do nicely for the Dutchman. Never in doubt.
Well, it was a good looking shot. Very high backswing here for Phil Hulst. Opens his shoulders up and just lets that ball fly, and it actually rips the rack, and it was a very good ball change indeed. Now, can he do it on the right hand lane as well? Well, we'll soon find out. This foundation frame, frame 9, looking for the double. Oh dear, oh dear.
10 pin.
Can only be a spare. In fact, that was the first ball in frame 10. I got caught 1 frame behind, but that was the first ball in the 10th. So he's actually taken 6-pin lead. So he needs a spare plus a bonus ball. Put some pressure back on the Russian.
mentioned about the drop in his shoulder. Isn't that something that he would potentially think about coaching out, or is that just his natural style and go with it?
Well, he does have a personal coach, I know, but he seems to have done that for quite a few years now. Has played a little bit on the European tour without any major success. He's made the spare in the 10th, and a decent count here could really put some pressure on the Russian. Oh dear, he's fallen off that oh dear. He's missed the headpin right hand side and only taken 6 pins, so he ends up with 194, which he shouldn't really be that happy with, because it gives Sergey Andreev the chance to get 2 strikes in a row and win this game.
Well, this is going to the wire, this one, a much closer affair than Hulst had to deal with against Xavier Ecoffey of Switzerland in the previous match. Andreev looking in control of it, handed the initiative to the Dutchman, who possibly handed it back to the Russian.
It's a very friendly game, 10-pin bowling, as you can see, but the situation is it's frame 10. Sergey Andreev is working on an open frame after that no miss. He needs 2 strikes and a pin to win. Sorry, it's 2 strikes and 2 pins to win.
Well, there's the first.
Well, you can only do one at a time, and as you say, yeah, that is the first one. He really must get the next strike. Slow motion replay. Cups that wrist with the wristmaster, gives it a snap as he follows through. Plays that wide line, gets a nice bit of reaction on the outside. Just a fraction light, but it's carried all 10.
Jones standing taking his time here.
Well, this is the one, yeah, he's got to prepare himself mentally. So he'll take his time. He just wipes some odd lane conditioner off the bowling ball. Think about what he's got to do, take a deep breath, and he needs a strike to win.
He's got just about every bit of gear you can possibly have as a bowler, hasn't he?
Very trendy, isn't he? He's probably quite popular down his local pro shop.
Yeah, I'd have thought so, yeah.
Buying up everything. But it's actually more than a strike he needs. He needs a strike and 2 pins. And he hasn't got the strike, so that doesn't matter at all. So he can only make 192, and the game's all over, and Phil Hulst will move on. That 194 is going to be good enough, because Sergey, with a spare here, can only make 192. And he will be out of the stepladder final. And that's the situation, and that is the final score as well.
Confirmation of that then, Phil Hulst marches on, the holder into the next round. He will take on Mathieu Berges of Switzerland. Let's join that match in frame 7.
Oh, the 4-9 split, unfortunately, an open frame for Phil Hulst, and that is the second open frame he's had in this game. So it allows Mathieu Berges, the Swiss international, to get a chance to catch up. He too has had 2 open frames and only 1 strike. Fortunately, Phil Hulst has had a double earlier on, so he's just got the lead. Oh, that one seemed to turn and run out flat, didn't it? He's left a 10-pin standing in the corner. Got a chance for a strike goes, and so he doesn't get a strike. He can't make a double, which is really what he needs in this game. Yeah, just gets a little bit caught up in the oil on the outside of that lane and just doesn't quite get back.
Swiss national champion in 2005. Placed 29th in the 2011 QubicaAMF World Cup. No problem with the spare.
Yeah, I'm afraid spares are not good enough for him. He must make a couple of strikes, at least 2 in a row, if not more, just to finish this game off. But it's Phil Hulst now who's just looking at the scoreboard and sees that he's still in the lead. Strike from Switzerland is trailing by 14, but that's a better looking shot.
Do you know what? I thought that had moved in just a tad early, but then it seemed to almost wiggle a bit at the end.
It turned and then what we call set. It hooked and then went straight, which was actually quite a premium shot.
It helped him, didn't it? Helped him big time.
Absolutely. So the 23-year-old from the Netherlands, open frame in frame number 7. He's got a 14-pin lead. If he can strike here, it's all coming down to the wire. It's all quite close at the moment.
Extremely tight, of course, in his last match against Sergey Andreev. It's been a busy day for Phil Hulst.
Well, that was a bit of a hit him thin, make him spin, wasn't it? It's only just made the hairpin. Look how wide that is, and there's a 3 or 4 pin standing. Left-hand side of the lane have suddenly gone. Here's the situation. It's 14-pin lead for Hulst. Steps up to the 9th frame.
Peter Knopp of Germany, by the way, is awaiting in the final, but if it's Hulst that gets there, he's going to be well warmed up, isn't he?
Well, he lost that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
Oh dear, and he's very lucky just to leave that single 2-pin standing. He fell off the shot, his feet went up in the air, the ball went wide, and nothing was right, including his shoulders.
Not going to let that lie, are you, Berges?
It can only be a single pin spare.
He wants to hang on to this trophy. Phil Hulst, seen off Ecoffey, seen off Andreev. Now Mathieu Berges, the second Swiss player that he's faced. Oh, he's missed it. Well, it's not the first time we've seen that tonight. Andreev did it in the last game, which really gave Hulst the in. Has he done the same here?
Straight up the middle, hard and fast, but misses it by a fraction of an inch. That's just crazy. You just can't bowl that fast, especially up the middle of the lane where there is some oil still sitting there. It's just aquaplane straight through. Didn't hook at all. And yes, Phil, look at your fingers, because that's what did the trouble. So chances for Mathieu Berges.
Doesn't strike. It turned very early again, and he's left that 10-pin.
Well, if he wants to win this game, he's going to have to spare this 10-pin, which shouldn't really be a problem to him. Wasn't a bad looking shot, fraction light. That's why the 10-pin stood up. The angle wasn't quite correct.
Yeah, there's a slightest nudge on it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
He'll be frustrated though, not following that gift of an open frame from Hulst with a strike.
Well, it was like a birthday present. Step up and take the game away from me.
Should make the spare though, no problem. Oh, guttable! Well, 2 in a row, that is extraordinary, isn't it? One from Hulst and then one from Berges.
I've got a feeling the noise from the crowd put him off, and that's why it's dropped in the gutter. There's a couple of hundred school kids here with the afternoon off, and they are the audience for this tournament.
Well, it's surprising when it happens at any competitive level of bowling, but I mean, we've seen the likes of Chris Barnes do that, haven't we?
Well, that was just crazy, was it? 9 miss for both players in the 9th frame. And I think Phil Hulst has realised that he's only got to keep the ball in the lane and he's going to win this one.
Well, if ever a gift horse was looked in the mouth, it was then by Mathieu Berges.
Well, it makes him spell for spare. He's got a chance of making 176 if he can strike. Phil Hulst just going to keep the ball on the lane, and he's going to be the winner.
And the run to keep on going. There's the strike.
Well, it's only his 4th strike, sorry, his 5th strike of the game. 3 big open frames, and that's why his score is so low. 155 for Mathieu is all he can manage. It's a very low scoring game for him. Couldn't make any doubles, just 2 strikes. And Phil Hulst as well. Bit of a lucky man, I think, to still be in the tournament. And he moved through to the grand final against Peter Knopp.
You always need a bit of luck to win competitions. He's certainly had that. As well as playing well, let's not forget that, Phil Hulst. It's a competition he clearly enjoys after his victory last year, and he will be in the ultimate match again against Peter Knopp of Germany. See if he can retain his title. It's all very good-natured, isn't it?
I've just beaten you and make you laugh. Spare here for 170, not the highest game in the world, but it is a winner. And there it is, it's a 170-155 victory.
Well, don't go anywhere, because the final against Peter Knopp is coming right up.
As the clock ticks down, the heartbeat quickens. It's time to face legendary mountains, racing down the slopes in 4 different disciplines. From the staggeringly fast to the seriously technical. And with the Winter Olympics on the horizon, this is the season to reach the peak. Alpine Ski World Cup from Adelboden. Men's giant slalom Saturday live on Eurosport 2.
Eurosport Player is the Eurosport multi-screen service. With Eurosport Player, watch Eurosport and Eurosport 2 live on all your favourite devices through a single subscription. Follow great sporting events live and on demand. Enjoy exclusive content such as 7 tennis courts simultaneously. Eurosport Player. All sports, all emotions, all screens.
They played 39 times. Their rivalry is the stuff of legend. Great strength, lightning speed, and the will to play through pain. They are the demigods of the sport, and they're destined to clash again. While among the women, one dominates the court, daring the challengers to steal her glory. The Australian Open, from Sunday night at 1, live on Eurosport and Eurosport 2.
The Australian Open is brought to you by BetAtHome.com. Life's a game.
So welcome back to the 2013 QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Cup. It is the final of this stepladder final. The holder, Phil Hulst, against Peter Knopp of Germany. We join the action in frame 3.
Hulst looking for his second strike of the game. He struck in frame 1. He's spared in the second frame, and that's another one, so he's clean so far. Trying to retain the title he won last year. He's had a mixed bag of fortunes on the way to this final. And here we see his slow motion replay. Really high backswing. That ball's right above his head as he lets go and comes through and snaps that wrist. Puts a lot of rotation on the ball, which gets the ball hooking in the back end of the last few feet of the lane there before it hits the pins.
Well, he's certainly battle ready, isn't he? Phil Hulst, having already won 3 matches in this stepladder final before facing Peter Knopp, the top seed finalist. Of course, he will have been practicing away, won't he, on one of the practice lanes, but it's not quite the same as having that competitive edge.
Well, the lane they're playing on is totally different to a practice lane further down the end of the bowling centre. And Peter can only leave a single 4-pin. He hasn't struck yet. It's 8 spare and 6 spare in his first 2 frames.
Do you think this format favours the player that's come through? Just to finish the point, I was kind of
absolutely, as you said, warmed up, got the lanes, and got the angles right, and Peter Knopp's come in. He's got 1 game as number 1 seed, and he's got, well, probably 250 to win. Having said that, 150 could win this one. You never know.
No, that's the unpredictability of it, isn't it? And Phil Hulst could easily have gone out to Mathieu Berges in the last match, opened the door, and Berges didn't fancy walking through, and now here he is defending his title against the German.
Yeah, Peter's got quite good pedigree as a professional bowler. He's been out in the PBA Tour in the States. He's also played the PBA 50, the Seniors Tour as well. But at the moment he's back in his native country, Germany.
Yeah, he currently owns 2 pro shops in Bremen and Berlin. I'm sure Sergey Andreev will be in there if he's passing by.
Yeah, just to see what accessories of equipment they've got.
10 pin left by Knopp.
Yeah, 4 frames now without a strike. So he's going to have to get going sometime if he wants to beat Phil Hulst. Probably the best player in the tournament, Peter Knopp, but just can't quite get going at the moment.
It's great to see the shot in super slow-mo like that. You can really get an idea of the mechanics involved in the ball delivery.
Yeah, I like to see the ball go through the pins on really super slow-mo, and you can see how the pins react as the ball goes through and what pins fall first and last. Well, he makes a spare, but that's all he's got, 4 spares. Phil Hulst with a 15-pin advantage. Going into the 4th frame now. Working on a strike, be looking for the first double of the match. I'll hopefully extend that lead.
Comfortably beat Ecoffey. Tighter affair against Andreev, and almost threw it away against Berges. And has fought his way through to this meeting with Knopp. Takes all 10.
First double of the match, great looking shot, and that is the situation. There's just 6 pins in it at the moment. Steady at the line on that slow motion replay. Just holds the shot till the ball hits the pins. So Phil Hulst stands up looking for frame number 5 at the halfway stage. Working 2 strikes in a row. And can he make it the first turkey?
Oh, no, he can't.
Well, the crowd seemed to think it was good. It was in the 1-3 pocket, and unfortunately couldn't quite carry that 4 pin. So that can be a 9 spare. It increases his lead over Peter Knopp.
Must remain concentrated. Of course, he missed one of those against Mathieu Berges, but not this time.
Yeah, I think his coach would have something to say to him about missing single pins in a televised tournament. This time he's hard and fast and straight at the pin.
Just extremely fortunate that when he did miss the single pin, Berges produced a gutter ball for his spare.
Yeah, quite ironic, wasn't it? Quite almost humorous to watch.
Even Berges was laughing himself, wasn't he? Once he realised it was all over.
I think I'd have been crying, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the high what he was really feeling. Shot from Knopp.
Oh, Peter, well done. Great looking shot. His first strike in the 5th frame. So he's got to halfway and made his first pocket carry. 4 pins the last one to go, but they all go, so that's 10. Gives him the opportunity to shoot another one on the next lane and make 2 strikes in a row.
Took a while for his first strike to come. Can he make it a double? Certainly can. He's finding his range at just the right time.
Well, he actually enjoyed that one. You could tell by the body language. He's used that wide outside line. Lots of rotation. It gets up to the pocket and it's still driving through. It hits the 5 pin and the 7 pin is the last one to go, but it counts as 10 and it's 2 strikes in a row. So back in the game comes Peter Knopp.
Hulst again, just gathering his thoughts, taking his time.
Yeah, he's experienced enough to know what he needs to do here. Keep the ball in play. Keep in his zone for that 1-3 pocket. He has played some European ranking tours before, but not as many as I'm sure he wants to. Oh, he's gone high through the head pin, unfortunately. Leaves the 3 and the 6 and the 10 pin, which really was quite an errant shot, really. It was nowhere near the 1-3 pocket. But having said that, he's only 23, so he's got a long, long time to get some more expertise and knowledge of the game, and could well be a bright star in the future on the European bowling tours.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Made sure of that one. He's on it at the moment. Takes all 10.
Yeah, better looking shot that time. Carried all 10 off of a 1-3 pocket shot. His 4th strike of the match. Knopp just with 2, so the lead is small, but Knopp's got to do something about it. He's got to get back and probably hit at least another 2 strikes if he wants to be in this at the death.
Looks as though it's going to the wire, this one. Well, he shouted, didn't he?
We heard him shout go, didn't we? Well, it looked all right until it was a couple of feet out from the pocket. Then it just turned up high, straight through the face of the number 1 pin. Just watch this. It's good there, and then it's just snapped up and gone straight through. Very fortunate to break up some pins. Leaves just the single 4 pin, which one would think would be a straightforward spare for a man of this man's expertise and bowling ability.
Mind you, in saying that, we've seen 3 single pins missed already in this step ladder final.
You're just hoping, aren't you?
I wouldn't wish that on anyone, to be fair.
He applauds himself with that single pin spare. Remains just 3 pins adrift after frames 7. So it is going to go to the wire. It's very tight. And it may well be, as I like to say, the first double may well win this one.
Every ball crucial now at this stage. Good shots.
Yeah, it was a good shot. That's 2 in a row on that left-hand lane. Unfortunately, he had a spare in between them on the right-hand lane. But this is a good-looking shot right in the 1-3 pocket, jumps all 10 pins around, takes them all out, gives him the opportunity to make a double on his next shot.
So frame 9, foundation frame in this stepladder final match. This is where this could be won or lost. Ooh, I thought he was going to pick up the Brooklyn for a second, but not quite.
Well, it was certainly heading that way, wasn't it? He was left side of the head pin going away. These 2 pins right hand side, it's the 6 and the 10. Again, should be a straightforward spare for Peter Knopp. Not what he wanted in the foundation frame. You always need a strike in the 9th just to set yourself up for the possibility of 3 more in the 10th.
Remains clean in that frame.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Needed another strike, but chance now for Phil Hulst to stand up. Shoot frames 8 and 9. First of all, though, it's Hulst in the 10th, leaving a 10 pin in the corner. He really must spare this to give himself any chance with the bonus ball. He's just checking the overhead computer scores and doesn't look that happy, does he?
I think he was staring at it, hoping the numbers would change, but they won't. Just hasn't struck enough, has he?
3 strikes is all he's got in this game. And really, you can't expect to win a final, televised final, with that amount of strikes. They just get through the 200 barrier, the spare here.
It's all well and good staying clean, but you need those strikes, and he just hasn't got them, the German. Oh, and he's missed a single pin.
That's the one you were talking about, Wayne. It's all your fault. Another single pin, and Peter Knopp can't believe it.
That is amazing, isn't it?
He's just grabbed his ball and walked off.
And Hulst has been the beneficiary on 2 occasions.
191 is Peter Knopp's score, which really isn't good enough. That was quite a poor game with just 3 strikes. Phil Hulst needs 8 pins to win. It must be his birthday. It's been presented with this 500 euros for the winner's check and the trophy of singles bowling promotion cup champion again.
Just had the feeling that his name was on it. There was just 1 or 2 moments in all of his matches, really, where it could have gone either way, and each time penny dropped in his favour. Very relaxed shot, and takes away the trophy. The defending champion holds on to it for another year.
And how happy is he?
Well, he did it the hard way, of course. Made every step of this stepladder final and has come right through to take the lot. And
notwithstanding, he had a little help from his friends.
He did.
As well.
He did. And single pin misses, etc. Even threw one of those in himself and still comes away with the trophy. It's like every sport. It's not skill alone. You need an element of fortune, don't you?
You've been a bit like that.
A bit of a Brooklyn as well, just to finish off.
It's not necessary, but this is just horrendous, isn't it? Look at this. Snaps in the back end, trips the 6 pin, just, and it counts as a strike. Finishes on 225, and that's a great looking game.
And if Peter Knopp was in any doubt that he wasn't going to win this final, I think that just hammered the point home.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
Always spectacular looking, isn't it? But as you say, extremely fortunate. No, not this time. There's the 10 pin up, but 225 for Phil Hulst of the Netherlands. And he defends his QubicaAMF bowling promotion cup title. He did it the hard way, came through and won 3 successive matches, but well done to Peter Hulst. Thanks for joining us. Till next time, it's goodbye.